Self-realization and meditation. This topic is basically a very deep and very ancient subject. In the times of ancient humanity, when people understood that we were a collective, the greatest goal and achievement was, contemplating what the Creator is and where that creation lies with an individual. So it was obviously the laws of physics and the laws of matter, but them civilizations knew, for example, at the time of Atlantis, Sumeria, Babylon, the Vedic Empire in India, Greece, how them different continents were connected, and potentially we had a spiritual global race, the ones that might have been responsible for putting Stonehenge together, whether they were giants or whether they had help from extraterrestrials, they were linked to other beings, and how the earth itself was almost like a holiday home or a haven for intergalactic species or beings that would come across. And it was just altered that understanding and realization that this life was a gift, and it was literally to experience the Creator and to sort of like unite. And this is what the earth, that I believe, and the way I see it is, this is what the earth is and this is what the earth was, and that has obviously been taken away. So the first thing about self-realization is that it's quite common that people will start to believe things that in the status quo are not real once they've suffered or been through some type of traumatic stages in their life. Difficulty, problems, limitation. Limitation leads to genius, and difficulty and problems lead to a person striving for spirituality and potentially looking within to find out what this is all about. Now, a lot of people who first start to awaken will begin to see the world as a game, and will start recognizing the earth and everything as different to what they originally seen it. For example, it's almost like somebody puts on, it's almost like that film They Live, which was done by John Carpenter. I'm not sure, Peter Bensley, John Carpenter, one of the two. Ridley Scott, I can't remember the exact name, but it was done where it's almost like somebody takes a pair of glasses or sunglasses and puts it onto you when you start going through the original phases of awakening. Maybe there's some DNA changes, I don't know. Maybe when they say genius, when there's a mutation of cells that takes place, maybe that's also part of spirituality. And you start seeing things from a different perspective, and you'll start understanding that some people that you may have originally thought were bad people, seeing them as in a different light, and seeing the people that you understood as being good people in a different light. And truthful people and people who get into spirituality will then start tapping into abilities where they will know if somebody is lying to them, they will know if somebody cheats them, or it's almost like their perceptive abilities will heighten and improve. And this is something that was taught, by many cultures a long time ago, and originally schools that we go to today to learn about the machine and the system and the left brain. The original ancient schools were all to do with the right side, belief, thinking, meditation, what thought is, and how you actually receive thought when you meditate, and what praying actually was. Praying was a science, and even contemplating the universe, stars and astrology were all the original forms of religion, and how energy itself and that interconnection with everything is all linked to the metaphysics. And basically meditation is something where you focus on a very simple thing, simply to clear the worldly thoughts, the worries worries about your house, the worries about your family, the worries about your children, the worries about money. That has to be eliminated, because don't forget, going back to my original video, that is the illusion. So meditation is all about getting rid of the illusion and realizing simply that the only truth is infinite love. The only truth is your breath, and focusing on your breath, because obviously birth, when you're born, you go through the pain of being born and the pain of dying. It's ultimately all to do with your breath and your breathing. So meditation is to align yourself with your thought, align yourself with your breathing, to balance your brain, and to sort of like center and focus your thought on your breathing, and then to sort of like get to no thought stage, to lose the sense of thought. And if there's anything cosmic or anything universal that takes place, whether it's you realizing something, whether it's some type of cellular or molecular change happening within you, that will only happen when you've completely lost a sense of where you are, and you just see yourself as a thought, you see yourself as light. And often when I meditate, whether it's some type of Vedic chant meditation or it's the Kundalini meditation, I try to get myself to a stage of where I completely lose sense of where I am, in my house, in my room, and then this is when I start seeing myself literally as consciousness, and seeing myself as an infinite light, and that is when the healing takes place, because a lot of healing actually happens when you meditate. It's potentially healing that we don't understand, but it's a very energetic clearing or healing where negativity from you that is stored within you is released, and that is somehow balanced. And this is where the word meditation comes in. It's basically to almost like a recharge, and if you look at technology and how technology is based on nature, computers are obviously based on the human brain, on humans, and even computers itself. The reverse engineered technology from aliens is based on consciousness, and you in some cases you basically have the ability to reset that computer, to charge that computer, to synchronize that computer, and this is very similar principles to humans, because the powers that be, the elite, understand that we can be programmed. They understand that we are prone to repetition and doing things a certain way, creating our culture the way they have. People have almost like become, rather than being creative robots, we are now very materialistic robots, and obviously that is just serving that system, because great things can be abused. Good people and good things can be abused. And if there is a infinite being out there called the Creator or God that is simply striving to provide and do things for everything in existence, then that's how it has been perverted. It's almost like saying, well, figure this one out. The laws of karma have been perverted, because all bad people do is seem to take things away from good people. So obviously that's the system where you will, if you cause suffering, you will suffer, and people who are suffering simply reflect that out and cause a whole load of other people to suffer. Demons, monsters, whatever you want to call them, people, these psychopaths, these global elite neocons, who have this whole order, new world order. Simply all they're doing is imposing more suffering, more pain, and that's almost like saying, well, how are you going to deal with this one? And they're putting a message out there to love, to the Creator. And prayer is something that originally was done in morning meditation and prayer, two things that you try to do in the early time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, around about that period. This is when the real changes begin, when you actually awaken at that time in the morning and clear yourself. You will then start to notice changes in your own abilities, in your own thinking, things that you couldn't do before, maybe improving your focus. And there are lots of forms of meditation. You can meditate while driving, you can meditate while reading a book, you can definitely meditate while listening to music, and listening to music is a form of meditation. So it is just literally a balance of energy and how that energy works through you, the energy from the universe, the energy from the earth. And you need to realize simply that there is something within you that is infinite. And once you realize that, once you start thinking about that and acting upon that with prayer, speaking to yourself, allowing your intuition and guidance to come through, this is when you will actually start to experience life the way it was intended. You will actually start living as a real spiritual being, having a human experience.